It is morning here, evening with you, and various times all over the world. First of all, obeisances to each other. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Śrīla Gurudev ki jai, Jai Śrīla Guru Maharaj ki jai, and Jai Bhagavan Śrīla Bhakti Siddhānta Saraswatī Ṭhākur ki jai. And Śrīla Bhakti Siddhānta Saraswatī Ṭhākur's disappearance day today, ki jai. And Jai Shri Rupanuga Guru Vaga ki jai, Shri Chaitanya Saraswata Acharya Brinda ki jai, and all the assembled devotees ki jai. Vandeham Shri Guru, Shri Yuttapada Kamalang, Shri Gurun Vaishnavams cha, Shri Rupam Sagrajatam, Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tang Sajivam, Sadvaitam Savadutam, Parijana Sahitan Krishna Chaitanya Devam, Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shiva Shakanvitams cha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, dear devotees, oh, we don't have a lot of control over the light today. Dear devotees, happy to have you all with us, and Damayanti Devidasi also with us from Tomsk. Welcome from snowy Tomsk and snowy Latvia. Udaran Prabhu is with us. We heard they had deep snow. They are in deep snow now. And in sunny Brazil, well, no, it's the middle of the night, but hot Brazil, we have Leela Shakti Devidasi, Leela Mohi Prabhu, and with us there. And oh, will be sunny South Africa. We've got Sevarupa Devidasi with us. And in the night, Bhagavan Prabhu from Venezuela, and Chinmoy Prabhu, Kumkum Devidasi, Jivana, and Jayadev and Chintamani with us, all coming from California. Govinda, Govinda, and who did I miss out? Chinmoy Prabhu. Did I mention you just now? Oh, I didn't mention you. Chinmoy Prabhu. I'm so sorry. Coming from California too. And Damayanti Devidasi, she left us and came back just now. Okay, welcome Damayanti Devi. And just connecting to the audio is Radha Sundari, but she can't hear us yet. No problem. And Praneshwari, not last and not least. Praneshwari Devidasi with us on a well-lit day in Navadip Dham with lots of lights and a good camera, I think, taking the photo. Yes, Jayadev Prabhu, we can see you in the dark. Jai. And Rupanuga Prabhu, we can see your name in Australia. So to each of you, greetings, welcome. Oh, Paramananda Prabhu. Prabhu, how can we not mention you? Paramananda Prabhu in Thailand. It's not that we didn't mention, somehow or another, the pictures do move on the screen. So when I'm going along, they move around. Paramananda Prabhu, welcome. Hare Krishna. So no doubt Paramananda Prabhu has already been engaged in Hari Katha this morning at the Chiang Mai Gupta Govardhan temple. And I haven't yet gone to see what took place this morning, but perhaps today, oh, I would just like to say first, before we ask to Paramananda to say a few words, and so that will also prepare him, give him a few seconds. Today we do need to leave earlier, and actually leave earlier on time, because we have a special servitor who really, I don't know Spanish, and we know a few words, but when we hear the simultaneous translation into Spanish, then really we feel like we understand everything that Praneshwari is saying, and she keeps up with Goswami Maharaj's talk very well. So we love to hear Hari Katha in all languages, but it's a special skill to be able to do simultaneous translation. So this morning from Chiang Mai, Śrīla Bhakti Siddhānta Goswami Maharaj. He'll be talking in 44 minutes time, but it does take a little while to change accounts and get ready. So we'll be leaving 15 minutes earlier on the dot British time today. So shorter, but no problem, as we sometimes catch each other out. Not only I catch others out, they also catch me out. Sometimes, however short or long our readings in the morning may be during the temple, really test yourself, catch yourself out and see how much you can remember just an hour later. Okay, what did we read this morning? It is good exercise for us. After all, we are meant to be hearing, remembering and chanting. And while it's always good to be in the environment of the Hare Katha, it's also good to remember what we'd heard, some things. All right. So first of all, Paramantu, if we may, please share with us something. Today is Śrīla Bhakti Siddhānta Saraswatī Ṭhākur's disappearance day. And of course, it's a very strong day in the lives of all of our family. We have, I'm not speaking about, anyway, I'll just say we have experience of Guru Maharaj's disappearance, of Srila Gurudev's disappearance. And so we can relate in some way to the disappearance of Śrīla Bhakti Siddhānta Saraswatī Ṭhākur for all of that generation who were his disciples and associates, but also all of our generations from now forever. We will catch the essence of the relevance of Śrīla Saraswatī Ṭhākur's appearance and disappearance and legacy, as it were, in this world. So very important day. Paramananda Prabhu. Kindly.
Maharaj, I did not live by your expectations, so I had some seva engagements at the farm, so I left Bhakti Lalita all alone. I'm sure she did a good job. But I'm sure she did. I decided, since I'm not there, in the company of Goswami Maharaj and all the devotees, so I decided to go to see Gurudev and his veranda and listen to Srila Govinda Maharaj's talks and also Srila Guru Maharaj's short talks and readings. And really, Srila Gurudev was pointing out how if we want to know Saraswati Ṭhākur, Srila Guru Maharaj, he is giving him in a full, externally, in a full form. We can understand who he is externally, and more than that, we can understand who he is internally. So Srila Gurudev quoted that verse, Bahiranga, two reasons of Mahaprabhu appearance, Bahiranga and Antaranga. Internal reason, external reason. So both reasons and both, we can say, forms of Saraswati Ṭhākur, we can see through the eyes of Srila Guru Maharaj and through his compositions. No one in the whole Vaishnava world composed anything more substantial, more beautiful, more sweet, more revealing Saraswati Ṭhākur's divine nature than Srila Bhakti Rakshakshara Dev Goswami Maharaj. So happily Srila Gurudev was telling devotees and quoting different verses from different compositions dedicated to Srila Saraswati Ṭhākur. But then Guru Maharaj himself, he said very sweet, in a very sweet way. And you may say, oh, it sounds like someone is boasting about something, but really understanding the relationship between Guru Maharaj and Saraswati Ṭhākur, we can understand that it's just, in a very sweet, he's pointing out that if Saraswati Ṭhākur is alive, if he is present with us, then he would say, I captured him in a cage of poetry. And that verse, Srila Guru Maharaj's famous verse, Nikhila Bhuva Namoye Chinna Vichinna Kartri Vibhuta Bahula Vigya Mukti Mahanta Datri Titirita Vidhi Raga Radha Radheshidhani Vilasata Hridya Nityam Bhakti Siddhānta Vani. So Guru Maharaj is speaking of that verse, the cage of poetry that captured Srila Saraswati Ṭhākur. He said he would agree with that. He would say these words, that he captured me there. And what is said there, that with this first step, he appeared in this world. What did he do? With the first step, he cut asunder the plane of exploitation and anything connected to that. With the second, he demolishes the concept of liberationists, the calculative philosophy. With the third, he slackens the rules and regulations of calculative bhakti. the worship of Vaikuntha. In fact, Guru Maharaj says, with the touch of divine love, he takes us, he crosses Vaikuntha, and he goes directly to Vrindavan, Galok Vrindavan, and gives us worship of Radha Govinda. That is Saraswati Ṭhākur. And Guru Maharaj said, this is more than sufficient to understand and to know about him. We don't have to go into details. How does he look like? What did he like? And all wonderful details, no doubt. But we should not miss out the essence. So Guru Maharaj points out what is the most important. So Vilasatu Hridi Nityam Bhakti Siddhānta Vani, the Bhakti Siddhānta Vani, where Saraswati Ṭhākur is fully represented, that where we should put our attention to, our focus to, not anything else, the instructions of Bhakti Siddhānta Saraswatī Ṭhākur. And during that mystical transition of the wealth of Rupanuga Sampradaya that happened during the very last moments of Śrīla Saraswati Ṭhākur's presence here, before he withdrew from our vision, he called Śrīla Guru Maharaj, and Śrīla Gurudev telling that story, which he heard from Śrīla Guru Maharaj. And Guru Maharaj is hesitating because actually he was just there with Saraswati Ṭhākur. He is in the next room having a nap for like 10 minutes rest. He spent the whole night. This was the Guru Maharaj's time to be with Saraswati Ṭhākur during his disappearance lila. So he's just having a tiny break. And then suddenly Saraswati Ṭhākur calls for him. So the devotee is calling him back. And Saraswati Ṭhākur says, I want you to sing Shri Rupa Manjari Pada. And Guru Maharaj, with all the humility, saying, I wasn't known as a good singer and I'm hesitating. I wasn't sure which tune I have to choose for that song, and singing such a high song, the hymn of the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, in front of my Divine Master. It was such an honor, so I was naturally hesitating. And then some of the assistants of Saraswati Ṭhākur, they appoint another person to do that, one brahmachari who was present, known for a sweet voice. And Guru Maharaj, Gurudev actually points out that Śrīla Saraswati Ṭhākur was very disturbed by that. He said, immediately he said, I don't want anyone else. I don't want to hear the sweet tune. I want Śrīla Sridhar Maharaj to sing that. I wanted to hear from him. And then everyone was shocked to hear that and seeing that kind of transition. And we have to credit all the God brothers. I mean, majority of God brothers present there, they recognize that some divine transition just happened. So Śrīla Guru Maharaj sang the song Shri Rupa Manjari Pada. And then all of his divine God brothers, they confirmed that. And actually, Gurudev points out that not just accepting him, but actually making some actions towards that, going to visit him, taking sannyas from him. Any situation, any questions arising that they are unable to answer or feeling themselves not qualified to answer, they're going to Śrīla Sridhar Maharaj, because they can see that Saraswati Ṭhākur's Vani teachings is fully present in his heart. And not just that, the whole wealth of Rupanuga Sampradaya that came through Saraswati Ṭhākur is there. And Guru Maharaj also points out how he could see the sweetness of Vrindavan, the sweetness of Galoka within the heart of Saraswati Ṭhākur. Guru Maharaj points out that it can only be perceived within his heart. Externally, he acted as a lion guru, no compromise whatsoever, cutting asunder all the misconceptions. In fact, Śrīla Guru Maharaj points out that my Gurudev spent gallons of blood to tell people, to establish what is not Krishna consciousness, what is not Madhurya Rasa, what is not the substance. So he is doing that for the whole world. But internally, Guru Maharaj is saying he is very, very sweet. So these are some recollections from today's visit to Gurudev's veranda. And apparently, Maharaj, I looked like I went to Guru Maharaj's veranda too.
I think you went to both verandas. And actually, while you were speaking, then I'm thinking, I was sitting there with Paramananda Prabhu, hearing these things, because I also, yesterday, our time, now is early in the morning here, but yesterday, our time, I listened to one of the talks which are posted there for Srila Gurudev, by Srila Gurudev about Śrīla Bhakti Siddhānta Saraswatī Ṭhākur's disappearance. And what I'm hearing from Paramananda Prabhu is a very clean mirror reflection of what has been given there, coming from the heart. So really very nice. And other things, I mean, another thing that comes to my mind from hearing Gurudev, sitting with Paramananda Prabhu, listening to Gurudev describing the glories of Gurudev, and then we have the veranda of Guru Maharaj where Guru Maharaj is speaking. But Gurudev, he pointed out something, which is that so many, they were disciples of Śrīla Bhakti Siddhānta Saraswatī Ṭhākur. They, in the class, they know him, etc. But how much they know him, and who knows Srila Guru Maharaj, who knows Śrīla Bhakti Siddhānta Saraswatī Ṭhākur? They all acknowledge that it's Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Śrīram Maharaj, who knows his heart, his intention, etc. And so they would come to Srila Guru Maharaj even in the time of Srila Saraswatī Ṭhākur, in order to get clarification of what was the message that Srila Bhakti Siddhānta Saraswatī Ṭhākur just gave in his class. Did we catch it correctly or not? And so Guru Maharaj, for instance, we know so many devotees, they know they were with and are disciples of Guru Maharaj and of Gurudev. But how much is understood of Guru Maharaj and Gurudev's nature and message, what they're trying to transmit? We also get some little analogy there, and we think, yes, how it's important to go to those who have got the substance of the teachings of the Master. And Śrīla Bhakti Siddhānta Saraswatī Ṭhākur, he knew the heart of Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Thakur, who he took, as Guru Maharaj says, substantially as his spiritual master, first as his guru, and as a side note, his father, as it were. And Śrīla Saraswatī Ṭhākur, he knew, again, about knowing the deep person, the identity, the nature of the person within. He knew Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and so many others knew Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Thakur. But Śrīla Saraswatī Ṭhākur, he brought out the heart of Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Thakur and distributed that to the world. And Gurudev also telling about, he said, I heard and I read also Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Thakur saying that within 50 years, the Westerners will come and join with the Easterners here and chant the names of Gauranga and Nitai and Hare Krishna. And Gurudev thinking, he said, I heard this, I read this, but I'm thinking, in the future it will be. But now I see with my own eyes and hear you are all evidence that this Krishna consciousness is traveling all over the world. And now the Westerners joining with the Easterners here in Bengal and chanting the names of Gauranga, and Gurudev giving all credit to the devotees who are assembled with him, saying, you are seeing this, I am seeing this, and you are seeing this. And that talk, Gurudev saying, 22 times I have traveled around the world, preaching Krishna consciousness, telling this message to the world. We have seen this. And for another 2 times, 2 extensive times, Gurudev went around the world after that talk that we were transported to and listening to together. And we invite you to listen to these talks. And in fact, we'll have it on scsmat.com within a few minutes. It's still early in the morning, this side of the world. Hare Krishna. And Kumkum Didi, would you like to kindly give a contribution for this morning's program? And you can also, it's Śrīla Bhakti Siddhānta Saraswatī Ṭhākur's disappearance. But I have to say that also yesterday was Srila Gurudev's, again, Vyasa Puja festival, but in Bamunpara by heart. And if you wish to share something of that and of Śrīla Saraswatī Ṭhākur, please do so, because it's very, both of these very relevant for our devotional life. And we are back to basics. And really the basis is we need to, it's not a question of having faith, we need to know fully. Śrīla Saraswatī Ṭhākur is our grandfather, maybe in most cases, or grandfather, but the grandfather of the Gaudiya mission all over the world, Mahaprabhu's mission all over the world. And Srila Gurudev, he is the very practical modern age whole foundation of our safe Krishna consciousness. So this is all very relevant for our back to basics. Kumkum Devirasi.
Yes, Maharaj, on this very holy time, I can try to say something. And remembering going to Bhamanpar, it was especially sweet to see the post on sesmat.com of the pictures and the 5 pages of pictures and commentaries by Malini from 2010, I believe, 2009, December. And that I encourage everybody to go back. And if you have been to Bhamanpar, then it's like a very sweet revisit to see these. But that holy village, I got the blessing to go there one time. And this is, of course, the birthplace of Srila Gurudev, city of Brahmins. And I was speaking with a devotee here about this, and he was saying, how can there be a whole city, a whole village of only Brahmins? How can that happen? And I was thinking, the only thing going on there is Brahminical activity. So it's not that there's a regulation, but who would be interested in going to a place where there's nothing to rob? There's nothing bad that you can do. They're not looking for hard laborers or so many things like that. And they're mostly self-sufficient. And it's so holy, you can completely feel it. And at the beginning of the manifestation of all of the devotees going to see Srila Gurudev, the roads to Bhamanpar had not been recognized by the local government as being very important. But when they started to understand that this local village boy that they had all loved and watched grow up was now world famous, and people coming from all over the world to see him, and sometimes tens of thousands at a time. And then, of course, by the divine will of Srila Bhakti Nirmalacharya Maharaj, the incredible temple evolved, and the kirtan hall, and all of the enormous prasad distribution that was going on there. But to see how humbly he grew up, but that's the external appearance. Internally, you can feel the very high and holy. I remember seeing one television antenna going into one little hut that was a thatched roof hut, and it was completely ironic. Like, this is sort of the extent of modernization here. But all of the people were so happy to reflect on him and tell about his early childhood there. And of course, to be able to get the darshan of the deities, Shri Radha Gopal.
Guru Gauranga Radha Gopinath.
Gopinath.
Yeah.
Yes. And I don't know the history of Sriman Mahaprabhu there, but Sri Radha and Gopinath were worshipped in his family for centuries. So this also tells something about the lineage that he's coming in. But we do gain a lot by seeing his birthplace. And that's very wonderful if people can go there. And regarding Śrīla Saraswatī Ṭhākur, it's true from the very beginning when I heard about him, it was always to think of him as a grandfather, and just like any grandfather, they're even more merciful than the father, and they're seeing only the best in us. And so to pray to him a lot. And one small contribution I can make is this verse from Sri Sri Prabhupada Jivanamrita in the 4th chapter, Rejection of the Unfavorable, by him. And it's the tendency to find the dying remnants of personal defects in an exclusive devotee must be abandoned. So I can definitely appreciate this. He says, for defects in his nature or defects in his body, one should never disrespect Lord Krishna's pure devotee. If mud, foam, and bubbles appear in Ganges water, it never loses divinity, so says the scripture. The devotee of divinity, he does never sin. And if a remnant does remain, soon that too is gone. So I find this extremely enlivening to consider. So such a direct advice for us, knowing what is best for us. Maharaj. Still muted, Maharaj.
Excuse me. Very beautiful, very perfect, and actually transporting us to Bamonpara. And just a mini mention too that in Bamonpara, the deities there, the original deities, they are small, but they are the family deities of Radha Gopinath.
Mm-hmm.
And the deities worshipped, and devotees asked Gurudev, is this from the time of Nitai and Gauranga? And Gurudev said, some are saying, but at least for many generations. So he didn't exactly confirm that, yes, these were worshipped by such and such or installed during their time. So we do hear sometimes the devotees saying, oh, it's worshipped from the time of Nitai and Gauranga. But unless Gurudev has said something somewhere else, certainly in my presence, he said that we cannot say that directly from that time, but for many generations in our family, the worship of Radha Gopinath. And his family, which live in it's relatives, it's not his family, his relatives, still living in not only Bamonpara village, but in the same property, the same house, etc. And it's a very sweet house to go to in the center of the village. Don't start thinking about the center of an American village or like a regular village, with the big wide roads down the middle, parking slot, and whatever the names of the supermarkets are. It's a village with mud walled houses, thatch roof houses, etc. And Gurudev's house, or Gurudev's house where Gurudev was born, and they have the maternity room. Still in India, the tradition is that a house has a maternity room where the babies are born, where babies are born, aren't they? Okay, where babies are born, they have a maternity room. So very sweetly, when we go to Bamonpara, then we go to visit that house, the family who are very sweet, and we go there all the time. And we have a little one-way system because it's a little narrow to see. We make a little one-way system so devotees can come to the maternity room, give obeisances, offer a flower, and then come out. But that family, they pray to Gurudev, please, you now make nice arrangement for the continuation of the service of Radha Gopinath, that you can do much better than we can, and it'll be our joy to see that. And so that Bamonpara temple, then Gurudev said, yes, we will do service there. So in that Bamonpara temple that Acharya Maharishi built, which has a whole story to it also, because that was secretly built at first, and then came about, but Gurudev said, yes, these deities will be there, but so everyone will be able to see Radha Gopinath. They will also manifest in a large form, in a larger form. So as established by Śrīla Bhakti Siddhānta Saraswatī Ṭhākur and by Guru Maharaj, by Gurudev, Mahaprabhu Radha Krishna. So Gurudev commissioned Mahaprabhu, Radha and Krishna, and Gurudev said, and this is manifestation of Radha Gopinath in a larger form, so we can see him. And so on the altar, if you see a picture, you will see there is Guru, the Parampara, Gauranga, then the same, Radha Gopinath. So the names are the same, Guru Gauranga, Radha Gopinath, and the original small deities, which are there on the altar at the front, but they're quite small. Then there are Radha Gopinath too. So same, but different, this way. So the devotees can see the Lord readily, as well as the Lord is seeing the devotees with bigger eyes from tall Radha Gopinath. So very sweet. Yes, and anyone who's been on pilgrimage to Bhamanpara, they must remember that. I mean, it's not an instruction, they must remember that all their life, but they must remember that in their heart all their life. It's such a beautiful and like something more than just going to a village or going on Sankirtan, which is always wonderful. But the place of Gurudev's appearance is just almost like another planet, visiting another sweet planet. And Mahaprabhu himself, when he went to the place of appearance of Ishvarapuri, then he's saying, oh, today the greatest fortune of my life to visit the place of appearance of our Gurudev, of my Gurudev, Ishvarapuri. So similarly, coming to Bhamanpara, Gurudev's appearance place, and not far away as the crow flies, as a bird would fly, not so far to Hapanya, but by road, quite a journey, because you have to go all the way around in a big U to get there, is Hapanya, Hapanya Dham, where Srila Guru Maharaj appeared. So this is a very auspicious area, and the area of Rara Desh, not Radha Desh, even though it looks like that in spelling. It's Rara Desh. And it's the area where Nityananda and Mahaprabhu have walked, crisscrossed this area with their lotus feet in years gone by and still today. Yes, Paramananda Prabhu.
Question to Kumkum Didi, what verse she is referring to? Because there is a pastime of Śrīla Saraswatī Ṭhākur and Guru Maharaj that could be related to that. If you can give me a first line.
Let's see. Well, I can give you a number. The first line, it's in not Devanagari, I forget what you call Bengali alphabet, which I can't read, but it's it is 4, verse 4. It says at the top of the page, it says 25, and I am not, so it might be 26, but
never mind. I thought you have it handy there. I don't have the Prabhupada Jivanamrita nearby.
Okay.
Because there's something similar. Srila Guru Maharaj asked Srila Saraswatī Ṭhākur how to see, how not to see actually, or sometime when you see a Vaishnava misbehaving or showing some, like it is said, dying remnants of anarthas, unwanted habits and personal interests. And Srila Guru Maharaj describes anartha as independent interests. So Guru Maharaj asking that of Saraswatī Ṭhākur, and Saraswatī Ṭhākur listening the question, but not giving immediate answer. And then it is forgotten on the side of Guru Maharaj. He forgot about it. But it also shows a special attention that Srila Saraswatī Ṭhākur pays to Srila Guru Maharaj. Actually, not on this one occasion, but many occasions. Also about when he is doing Ruchi Pariksha, he is examining internal taste, divine taste of his disciple, and asking which place is your favorite. And Srila Guru Maharaj refers to Uddhava Kyari, where the Uddhava Gita was revealed. I mean, the talk of Uddhava and Srimati Radharani. And then later on, when they're there, months later, maybe even more than that, just by being there, Srila Saraswati Ṭhākur, he says, oh, Sridhar Maharaj, this is your place. So that shows that he's been observing and preparing and considering and paying a lot of attention to Guru Maharaj. So in that verse, they're in Madras. As we know, Srila Guru Maharaj was sent there to establish little shrines of Mahaprabhu's Padapita. And we've been very fortunate with Srila Madhusudan Maharaj to visit one of those shrines on the banks of Kaveri River, where Ramananda and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had the famous conversation. It's still there in its original state, same architecture, nothing's been done to it. So he's in Madras giving a talk, probably Madras, somewhere in South India. And then he's quoting that verse. And I was thinking, maybe that's the verse. And immediately upon quoting this verse, he's saying, here is, and Guru Maharaj is in auditorium. He's saying, Guru Maharaj, Sridhar Maharaj, here is your answer. Listen to it. And Guru Maharaj said, I couldn't understand. What is he referring to? What kind of question did I ask? Because it was 6 months ago. And then I realized that all the time, Saraswati Ṭhākur, he kept it in his heart, kept it in his mind. And when the opportunity presented itself, he quoted that verse. But that verse is Swapada Mula Bhajata Priyasya Tyaktanya Bhavasya Hari Paresha Vipadayat Katpachitan Sangrachit Vidunoti Sarvam Hridi Sannivishtam. So it is basically said that a devotee, an Ananya Bhakt, who is exclusively focused on the lotus feet of the Lord, but may not be free from all the contaminations and offenses and imperfections, he should be treated as a clear, a pure devotee, because Krishna will get rid of all those imperfections with time. It's just a matter of time. So dying remnants.
Yeah.
Is that the verse, Maharaj? Did you get it? You're muted, Maharaj.
Divya Shakti Devi Rasi on Facebook has told us actually that it's verse 425 in the Prapanajivanamritam that we're looking for.
What is it?
I haven't quite gone there yet because I just saw it. Maybe someone can take a quick look. But in the meantime, I'm going to give us a mini cliffhanger. And I've written to Divya Shakti Devi Rasi on Skype, but we have only a few moments left for today's program. But she makes a point that the family didn't want to give the deities to the temple to be worshipped, but now it's something is coming in my mind. But the deities wanted to come to the temple to be worshipped, and so I have sent her a little note. But she's on Facebook, and so it's not. We're not able to hear from her directly here on the Zoom, but maybe we'll get this answered in our next Back to Basics. She has some clear memory of this. And in the meantime, has somebody found chapter 4, verse 25 of Prapanajivanamritam? I can find it, but it'll take me a second.
Oh, that's Drishta Svabhava Janitara Vapushashcha Dosha. It's the Buddhishamrita. Vishvasabhava janitaya vapushashcha doshayana prakritasi bhakta janasya pashit ganga basam nakalo buddha pena panka pramada vatama pagachati yiradharma Rupa Goswami. Similar verse.
Okay, and by the way, sorry, Divya Shakti has just joined us, but she's connecting the audio. Okay. So Divya, we only have a few moments really, because we have to leave in 4 minutes time, actually close, because the next program's coming up and we have an indispensable contributor to that program, Praneshwari, on board. So Divya, can you just very quickly just say to us this Leela of Radha Gopinath at Bamunpara? You need to unmute your microphone. Yes? No? Now it's muted. Now it's good. Speak something.
Oh, I just wanted to say that I can remember there was an argument, some kind of discussion about how the family members didn't want the deities to leave the family and go to the temple in Bamanpura. So there was some heated discussion, maybe, because they were very attached to the family. Do you remember, Madhusudan Maharaj?
I'm trying to remember, but the whole conclusion was that the deities wanted to go, and the family, anyhow, you seem to have been more closely connected with that particular Leela, and I was perhaps putting too much emphasis on the family and less on the deities. So,
yeah, I was thinking, Srila Madhusudan Maharaj, that the villagers and the family members of Shri Gurudev's family didn't want the deities to leave their property and go to a temple. I don't know, maybe because it's Bamanpura and it's the land of Brahmins, and maybe we're all malicious, but Gurudev had a vision beyond that, I believe, you know, and he could see, he just wanted to engage us in this service, I guess, because by some rare good fortune of Srila Gurudev's causeless mercy, you know, I got to do some service to those deities, and I said, you want me to take care of them? And he said yes. So I got to bathe them and dress them and clean the altar and put them on the altar and do all of this service for these Shishi Radha Gopinath in Bamanpura. So I can remember some discussion about that, about his family tradition. They didn't want the deities out of the family into a big temple. So I think Srila Bhakti Lalita deity would know also about it. And
okay,
I'm 100% sure of it because I remember it.
Okay, so let us do a little research, and maybe Paramananda in Thailand can ask to Bhakti Lalita and see if we can draw some nectar from her. And it's good to get all the facts right, but finally at the end of the day, there they are, they're in the temple, and the Lord can't go anywhere without his permission. And still it is Sri Radha Gopinath, worshipped by the family for many generations there in that beautiful temple. And then Guru Gauranga Radha Gopinath, the large deities that we can see when we go there, which we can easily have darshan of. And that standard of Gauranga Radha Gopinath, this is the standard that Mahaprabhu gave, and especially that Śrīla Bhakti Siddhānta Saraswatī Ṭhākur gave, especially for preaching. And just a quick reminder that everything we are doing today, it is following the standard that Śrīla Bhakti Siddhānta Saraswatī Ṭhākur has set. Our clothing, the songs, the way that we have our daily sadhana, the daily program, the chanting, the process, everything, all is coming from Śrīla Bhakti Siddhānta Saraswatī Ṭhākur, the practical application of Krishna consciousness in this age, and the super generosity of distributing Krishna consciousness everywhere, including like revolutionarily, whatever in a revolutionary way, saying, if necessary to draw people to come, you feed their local food to them so that they will be satisfied to come. And many revolutionary things that Śrīla Saraswatī Ṭhākur did, expressing this great necessity to distribute the holy name everywhere to everyone. So we are the recipients of Śrīla Bhakti Siddhānta Saraswatī Ṭhākur's mercy, coming through Guru Maharaj, coming through Gurudev, and coming through all of that, the senior section who distributed, as Śrīla Saraswatī Ṭhākur said, many mouths. He said, first I was one mouth saying, and now with many mouths, so many all over are now distributing that same message. So by the grace of all of them, we are here. The time is 4:45 here, time to go, because we have unstoppable clocks in this world. Please all do join together for a very substantial morning to hear Harikatha from Śrīla Bhakti Siddhānta Goswami Maharaj on Zoom in a few minutes time. And I think everybody here has that Zoom link, but the Zoom link, how quickly can I find it and put it in? I do not know, but we can have a race to see who can put the Zoom link in first. I have the link, it already, Parikrama. Anyway, we don't want to delay anymore. Okay, here's the Zoom link. But you need to copy and paste it out if you don't have it instantly, because this Zoom is about to close. All right. Take a screenshot, copy and paste, do something, because we can't turn the clocks back and they're going forward very quickly. Jai Śrīla Gurudev
Bhakti Ranjan Madhura Maharaj ki
Jai,
jai.
Baman Paradam ki jai, Bhagavan Śrīla Bhakti Siddhānta Saraswatī Ṭhākur ki jai, Rupanuga Guru Vaga ki jai, all of you ki jai. See you in a few moments in Chiang Mai, and hearing the glories of Śrīla Bhakti Siddhānta Saraswatī Ṭhākur, plus. Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bol, Vanchikalpatrubhyascha, Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo, Namo Namaha. Thank you for tolerating us, Praneshwariji, running over time. Oh dear.
Thank you, Maharaj, for your blessings.
And to Madhava Prabhu, to Anukul Chandra, to all those on Facebook, everybody, Dandavat Pranam, Ami Ashchi.